It's your boy, Jeff Jones.
It's the 1, 2, 3 knockout upset specialist, Thomas Boykin.
How about it's your guy, March Madness, Mike Jones.
And this is 234 Sports Talk. Fellas, let's talk about it.
Let's get at it.
All right, big story. Big story coming out of Memphis. Point guard, superstar, NBA All-Star, Ja Morant, in big trouble. Well, this is the story. was on IG Live in a strip club and brandished a gun. And right now, he stepped away, actually, had a statement come out, apologized for his actions. He stepped away from the game, had actually supposed to be gone just for a short period of time, but right now it's indefinite. It's supposed to be just a few days, now it's indefinite. And the league is investigating his off-court annex. And I believe that more suspensions may come. I believe that more discipline may come. We don't know. But right now, the league is looking into things. What's your take on this, fellas, as we look at what's going on with superstar Ja Morant?
Actually, the league and the police is looking into it. So this is major league. This ain't no small stuff. This major league stuff. This is almost going back to Plaxico Burress. I'm trying to tell you. It's no sense. Do these people not understand that there's consequences and repercussions behind things you do? Do you not understand that your influence as a star, especially as an NBA superstar, your personality, your persona is large, and people are going to want to follow that. So
yes, sir.
If you're doing this, imagine you're just hyping everybody up and say, oh, it's cool to brandish a gun on Instagram. It's cool to put a gun on Twitter. That's not cool. That's serious stuff. And I hope that he gets the help that he needs in order to get through this situation, because like you said, Jeff, this could be detrimental to the Memphis Grizzlies, because it could cost them. It could potentially cost Ja Morant the rest of his season, potentially, if not his career. So, I mean, I feel for the guy, I understand, but you got to understand, as Eddie Murphy said, you ain't taking my cornbread, and there's consequences and repercussions behind that stuff. What you got on him, Jay?
I even said Eddie Murphy. Even said Eddie Murphy, man. That's so nice. Hey, Big Dogs, man, you said it already, man. Pretty much. The thing about Ja Morant is that the guy is a talent. The guy is a super talent. When he sits there, the comment that, man, I cook Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying, on a one-on-one, and he could. But the thing about it is, with Ja Morant, something has come across him to be disrespectful. Somebody has got in that boy's head since saying, you know what? Hey, man, I'm better than everybody, and it's cool. So I'm going to trickle back a little bit, man. His pops, man, trained him, worked him hard to get him to this level, to Murray State. Man, the guy was a fly riser, at Murray State for the years he played. And sometimes, in his pops, I'm taking a different route, guys, Jeff and Thomas, man. The guy that played in the NBA, he looks sharp, you know what I'm saying? And you see his pops on the sideline, you see him at the Lakers game, you see him at the Knicks game. And I ain't talking about Ja, I'm talking about pops. You know what I'm saying? But then, what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, I'm sure Ja now has paid for a lot of stuff now that his pops has sit and put him through and got him. So my point is, like, man, I seen a bunch of people talking about Shannon Sharp, Willis. I can't think of my other guy with his talk show. But the thing is, do you think, guys, that Ja Morant, or my bad, do you not think that Ja Morant dad is not being a dad? Do you think that he is sitting and because his son is making all these millions, that he can't sit and tell his son what to do? Is it hard to sit and tell a millionaire, look, you don't need to be hanging with these people. You don't need to be doing this, or you need, how hard is it as a parent and your son is a millionaire? That's the problem that I have that I don't understand, and I'm not for sure. I seen a video that said and said Ja Morant and his daddy was critiquing each other's game, talking about Ja saying that his daddy never seen gave him any praise on his basketball game. So I don't understand what Ja is going through. Ja is talking about he gonna have to take some time away from the game because he's stressed. What is stressing you, Ja? Is your pop stressing you? Is the game stressing you? Is it your friends that you sit and hang out with stressing you? Hey, Jeff, tell me what you think about this.
Well, it's hard, looking from the outside in. You really don't know all the details. But I agree with you that when somebody is successful, they can have the attitude of, well, you can't tell me anything because of my status. So it's possible that maybe his father has been whispering in his ear and telling him, man, you need to do better. And he's probably, well, I'm John Morant. I mean, that could be the attitude. I'm just just throwing some hypotheticals out there. But at the same time, at the end of the day, regardless of what people may think, Ja Morant is Ja Morant. And Ja Morant can make his own decisions. And we know that from a youth up, we've been taught to do the right thing. And Ja Morant just has to do the right thing. So we can, people can point their finger is on the crew that he runs with. It's that he, this person or that person isn't telling him something. It's on Ja Morant. He has to look at the man in the mirror and said, I got to do better. I got to be better. I got to be an example. And that's my take on it.
Hey,
It's
Jeff,
all about it's all about the core value system of what you want in your career. Are you going to be focused on the street, or are you going to be focused on basketball? If you want to be focused on basketball, focus on basketball. Focus on your game. Focus on getting your team to a championship. Focus on doing things the right way and influencing your teammates to play better. Don't focus on the negative stuff that pull away from your team that could be detrimental and pull your team down. Ultimately, like you said, Jeff, you got to man up, and everything that you do, you made a conscientious decision to do. So now, when you make the conscientious decisions, what's they're saying now? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yes, sir.
Right. Hey, I'm finna say this, guy. My bad on the camera, guys. But here's the deal, man. You know what, man? I grew up, man, in a I ain't gonna say, I mean, I just was a poor part of Tennessee. And man, I had a homeboy, man, that we played basketball. I'm not gonna disclose his name, but he know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Man, me and my parents, we used to sit here to take him to basketball practice, get him from basketball practice, get him home and whatnot. And then when I got out of the military, when I got out of high school, he decided he was recruited to be a he got recruited to play college basketball. Well, okay, guess what? Basketball don't mean that you get millions when you go to a junior college. So guess what, man? I was recruited to go into the military. Guess what? I got a stipend. I got a military check. Man, I would come home. Man. Me and old boy would hang out, man. And the stuff that we used to do in high school, man, we done some old crazy stuff in high school. And it kind of transferred a little bit when I came home from the military, because I knew what the military had established in me as far as discipline and being the right guy. You know, you're not supposed to go to these clubs and stuff like that, all this type of stuff. Man, me and my homeboy, we would get together, but we would go to clubs that I knew that the military, now, it wasn't, this is some stuff out the state, but we would sit and go to these clubs, drug dealers, gangsters, prostitutes, hang out. We weren't looking for no trouble, but hey, we thought it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna vert back to being in the military. Man, we would go, I ain't gonna specify no name. We would go to them clubs. They would tell us we were not supposed to go to them clubs in Lawton, Oklahoma, but we would go to them clubs. Then maybe some people had weapons that was upon us as for our friends. But guess what? We didn't listen. We went to them clubs. We hung out. Anything, you know what? Like for me, man, I'm going to tell you, I was never a gangster. And I tell you what, I tell you, and I told Thomas know this from the very get out, man. One time I sat up there and talked crazy, was talking to this dude out of Memphis, raising up like I knew the hood. That nigga checked me, and guess what? When he checked me, I was Thomas know about this situation. So you know, guess what? If you ain't about that life, you need to leave that life alone. Like I said about John Morant.
Thanks.
Well, fellas, it's been said that there's a possibility, and this is one of the things that the NBA will be looking into, is a possibility that he may have taken this weapon into some of the Grizzlies training facilities, maybe on the plane. So they're looking into this, they're investigating. And if that be the case, he could probably be suspended for the rest of the season. And if you know, depending on the severity, it could be even more.
Dude, listen, if he took that weapon on a plane, you're looking at federal offenses, dude. You're looking at major league federal offenses. This is beyond state. This is beyond NBA. This is now you're talking about the rest of your life. Living with a scar, living with a black mark from doing something stupid that you didn't have no business doing because somebody hyped you up. Oh, you can carry a gun on a plane. That's cool. That's not cool.
Hey, but look, I'm finna play devil advocate on this. Man, I've always wanted to be an attorney, a DA, whatever. So how can you prove that he had that firearm? Okay, so look, Jeff, that firearm. What was this picture taken?
The strip club, I believe was
he was
in Memphis?
The club, I do believe.
Or was he in Denver?
Yeah, he was in the club in Denver.
Okay, so if the picture shows that the gun was in Denver, how can, like what Thomas Boykin was saying, how can you prove that it was traveled across airways?
Well, that's true. You still have to prove it, but I mean, here's the thing. Why take the chance and broadcast it?
No, you don't.
Why take the chance and broadcast it? That's like telling a guy that's running from the police that believes he's completely innocent. If you're completely innocent, why are you running?
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
But you,
and then look, Thomas. I'm gonna go back to to the other situation. So he was already dealing with a case with a 17-year-old.
that
This is
part.
saying that he had put some hands on him, then he put a pistol up against his head. So if I'm a DA, I'm gonna take all this into John Morant, you're gonna have to really get you a real good attorney because I think you got a problem with brandishing a gun.
I
That's
think he got
just
anger
me.
management issues.
He's got anger management. Yeah, he's got anger management. He loves to talk a bunch of trash. That's why I said, man, he can't play ball without sitting in. I don't know if he got anger management. I don't know that. Now we're talking some other stuff. I don't know if he got anger management.
Hey, if you putting your hands on folks and you brandishing a gun and you talking trash, obviously you got anger management issues.
Well, but Tom, we don't really know what really happened in that situation.
I mean, first thing
we
off
really
the
don't.
rip, a defense attorney, think about this. Like you said, you playing devil's advocate. If you're a defense attorney, I'm gonna send my client needs anger management classes to manage what's going on in his life, because if he's doing all this stuff, he's got stuff that's misplaced.
Facts.
So,
and it don't do him any good. Actually, guess what? At the Laker game, it wasn't about him. I don't think John Morant done anything that was anger with any of that. I really haven't seen John Morant do anything on the NBA court that warrants that he has anger issues.
well,
there's it's a lot of off court things.
Yeah, his stuff is off court, and that still is a carryover. Because if you do it off court and it
allegedly.
Well, yeah. Well, the gun for sure. I mean, you know, the
gun
video
is not
there.
Alleged. The gun is fact.
Exactly. So there's no downplaying this.
The gun is no leeway. It's fact. And it then, was sold. It's done. It's a wrap.
With this 17-year-old, the incident that Mike Jones was talking about, the 17-year-old said that they were playing basketball at Ja's, I believe it was his house. And this is the situation. Ja threw a hard pass. The 17-year-old didn't like the way Ja threw the ball at him. He threw the ball back, and then Ja got in his face. And they said that Ja was pretty much asking, you know, his guys around him, should I do him? Should I do him? And Ja hit the guy, knocked him down. And he said Ja hit him about 12 to 13 times. And he said that somebody else jumped in and started kicking him. And then he said that after all this went down, that Ja went in and then came back and he had his gun on, you know, on his waist, like, you know, showing him like, you know, hey, you don't want none of this pretty much. So the thing is, and there's a police report because they say the guy had a knot on his head. Now, once again, this could have happened somewhere else. We don't know. But at the same time, when it comes to, and then there was also some incidents with some people in his entourage with the laser, if y'all remember that. So there's a lot of things. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of off-court things that are going on, and Ja Morant's name is in the middle of this. And now, here it is. Ja's got to face the music. And I'm telling you guys, we just seeing this is just they just scratching the surface on this thing.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, mark my word. When the commissioner and the NBA gets involved in this is gonna get real ugly for Ja Morant.
I believe so. Here's the crazy part is that Nike is still sticking by him.
Well, yeah, they're sticking by him right now, but let me tell you something. They start out like that, but we'll see when rubber meets the road, you know, if they stay in this corner.
Yep.
No, but look. Hey, Jeff. Tom will make a very great stance about this. Now, they sticking by him, but then they don't stick by Kyrie. You know, what what
Well,
is
you got to look at
huh?
it like this too, Mike. We living in a time and day where uh when you touch issues concerning race, you touch issues that are real sensitive, corporations are not going to back you when
Yeah.
you show any type of what they call negativity or hatred. So
Yep.
because they feel like you represent their product, and they're not
You're
going to
using that
represent you
platform to
representing
do
their
that.
product because they're attached to it. So
Yep.
that's why they separate themselves. Now this is totally different because you got a guy just acting out and doing whatever. He's not really, saying anything bad against anybody. He's just acting out. So
Yeah,
that's the situation with that.
this goes back. That goes back to even like Colin Kaepernick, with everybody bounced on him for taking the kneel. Come on, man. This what people took that way out of context because it was not about the flag. It was never about the flag. It was about police brutality.
Preach, Mr. Thomas.
So come on, we gotta get some things straight. Who you gonna stand with, who you not gonna stand with, why you're not gonna stand with them, and make that presentation. If you're not gonna do that, just cutting them off at the feet is just cutting them off at the feet.
Look. Hey, guys. Hey, on the cool. So look. So if you look at what's in I'm gonna take this stuff a little bit further, a little deeper. So if you look at what the GOP in Congress, they got the majority. So they want to pass the gun laws. Okay, they want to pass the gun laws and say, okay, cool. The gun laws, it will look good for the right person. The gun law will look good for the right person. But the gun law does not look good for John Morant. And I'm going to tell you, it does not look good for John Morant because it does not fit what the gun laws is. But the gun law is supposed to be good for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But John Morant, you have said, and I come back to this deal once again, guys. I got two sons. Do you not know, man, when they get in trouble, guess what? They mama ain't gonna tell me. Their brother ain't gonna tell me. Guess what? I had to hunt it down. I got a tag, and if they watching this show, they gonna watch the show. My son, my youngest son, he don't understand when I get a hold of his police record. He don't understand how I get it. Guess what? When I call him, I check him on. I call him in Harris County. I call him out of Houston. Guess what? I'm a pop. I don't care how my son that's in the military. Man, I don't care how big you get. You're a first sergeant, a sergeant major, whatever. If you're doing something wrong, which you don't, but if he does, I don't gotta be the best individual in the world. My lifestyle ain't gotta be the best, but it should. But guess what? I'm going to still a pop. I'm going to sit and tell him, man, look, you're jacking up, you're screwing up. If you're beating your wife, guess what? You're going to hear from me. If you sit up there and you're doing something stupid, you're going to hear from me. That's the part that I wonder about John Morant Pops, man. He's a big fan. But in this time right now, which we don't know, is he telling him, man, you need to shut it down, man, start acting crazy.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, fellas.
Okay.
Go. You, I mean, if you got more, we.
We good, bro. Hey, we can go with this all day.
Definitely, because this is something.
Stuff, man.
I mean, there's so many angles that you can look at this thing,
Man.
But
man,
when it's all said and done, we definitely want the best for John Morant.
Definitely.
But let this be a lesson to other NBA players, other athletes everywhere. Let this be a lesson to the young up and coming athletes who may be in, junior high, high school. Learn from this. See, there are so many people making mistakes, and we see this in society. I mean, nobody's immune to it with all the social media. Nobody's immune. You see it. So they have to let this be a lesson to those guys that, hey, man, if I make it to the NBA or when I make it to the NBA, I know not to do that. I know not to do that. Look at all the downfalls from other guys, other athletes, that have come. Look at the Gilbert Arenas thing. Look at all those guys. The guys
Oh,
maybe.
hey, Gilbert Arenas. He sit up there and he condoning it.
Well, let me tell you
Consider the
something.
source, dude.
Yeah, you got to look at it. I mean, look at what happened with him. I mean, he took a weapon into the NBA in the NBA facility, and you see what happened with him. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of examples that people can look at and learn from. Life is a lesson, man. It's a lesson. We don't, and yeah, and you got to learn. When look at when they listen. When somebody makes a mistake, you know what you ought to say? I saw them make that mistake. I'm not gonna do it. And that's what these guys need to do, and girls. They need to look at what's going on right now and say, look at this is what happened when he went down that road. I'm not going down that road.
Facts. Don't fall in the rabbit hole.
Hope that, what is that, Tom?
I said, don't fall in the rabbit hole.
Yep. We hope the best for Ja Morant. No, nobody's hating on Ja Morant. I love the way he plays the game. Ja's one of the best in the league. Definitely one of the most exciting players to watch. But you got to do better. You got to do
have
better.
lifestyle changes, bro. Lifestyle changes got to happen. Bottom line, love you to death, but lifestyle changes got to match how your intensity on the court. Your lifestyle got to match that.
Man, I'm sitting here saying to myself, man, all of them millions and I think I got a whole lot of other things I could be doing, and I got
that part.
Those millions.
That part.
My goodness, I wouldn't have time to be getting in trouble.
No, it's too much other stuff I could be doing.
All right, fellas, still sticking with the NBA. When we look around the league, we starting to see guys really light them up. Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum. We starting to see guys just really get at it and score a lot of points this season. And when we look at the league, we look at, big news, Kevin Durant going back out west. And Mike Jones, I remember one of the earlier shows, you and Thomas, you talked about this. You said that LeBron and KD needed to flip-flop. You felt like KD looked better out west, felt like LeBron looked better in the east. And here it is, KD is back out west with the Phoenix Suns, and man, oh man, is he lighting them up. Fellas, what's your take on what's going on in the NBA?
Granted, Durant he was lighting it up in New Jersey before he left. He was averaging almost 30 before he left Jersey. So he was already on a scoring bench when he left Jersey. Going out west where he's got more room to operate is doing nothing but making him better. Now, will Phoenix challenge? Yeah, Phoenix will challenge. Will they win it all? Probably not. But they will give it a good go. But as far as these numbers go, like Dame putting up 71 and 60 and 50 and cats putting up 40-point games. I mean, listen, when they changed the style of the NBA and quit all the hubbub and bubbub of the 80s and 90s, they wanted to see what you're seeing now. They wanted to see a high-scoring game. Now you got high-scoring games. Now you got guys that shoot the ball at a real high rate. When they get on, they put them on and they go ham. Now, the question is this. Did they learn from the Michael Jordan area when they go, I can go ham all day, but is it going to equivalent to championships? Is it going to equivalent for you to go deep in the playoffs? Does it equivalent that I'm going to play defense on the other side or I'm going to just score points? So I like the fact that you see more prolific scoring now but is it going to equivalent to a championship? And most times your leading scorers in the NBA, other than those rare occasions, most of the time your high score guys that's putting up them much points normally don't win championships. Just saying. What you got on it, MJ?
All right, guys. Hey, real quick, because we're pumped with a little bit of time, but especially on my time anyway, guys. But hey, this is what I want to say, man. Is the NBA, man, it's gonna be the NBA, and I love it. I wish that I was telling Jeff, or no, I was talking to you, Tom, earlier today. I wish the NBA, and I think that it's gonna come back to it, to where they're gonna sit and they're gonna figure out faster shooting threes and stuff like that is not what the fans want. If I look at right now from the fans that I see that talk about the NBA, they don't like the NBA these days. They like how Jordan them used to come, shoot mid-range, shoot the buckets, what's going on the inside. Actually, they like the game being a little slowed down a little more. You know what I'm saying? This is what the fans want to see. You know, all this shooting, people running deers like reindeers around on the court. You got what 10 guys running on the court like they reindeers, and you can't touch them. So the fans have spoken. The fans, I'm taking a poll. The fans want to see a little more bumping and grinding, shooting more on the three. They want the three to be part of the game, but they want that mid range to be part of anything. And they want the old 90s. The 90s sit and represent the NBA. So, guys, if you can't bring back the 90s, I don't know what we're going to do. The NBA is going to suffer. I'm just saying. Jeff, what you got on it, big dog?
Well, we know that the league they want to see this high scoring NBA that we have of today. And the game has just evolved. And I know that, you all feel like I do. We like that old school grind them out type of basketball, big guys in the paint putting in work. We like that. Guys that could drive to the paint, instead of just everybody just coming down shooting the three. It's a boring game to guys who like the old school game, but then you got the guys of today who love that type of game. A lot of the younger generation, they love that, coming down, putting up the three real quick. And but it's two different styles once again, but everybody has their flavor. I tend to like the old school, but this is where the NBA has evolved. This is where we are. You got bigs now that they pretty much got to be able to shoot the three. If they can't shoot the three and don't have a nice little mid range to them, then you pretty much gonna be a bench player. They're not really gonna utilize.
I think we need to go back. I think they need to go back and take away zone defenses and make everybody go back to man, like it used to be.
The
NBA was strictly based for years playing man to man without no zone. Zone was an illegal defense.
Yeah, zone was illegal. Yeah, that was illegal defense.
Yes, sir. We need to go back to man and make these guys play defense, because these guys are, if you sit back and let them play zone, you let these guys pretty much wing. I can just come down and jack a three.
Okay,
and your big guy is running the floor, getting no touches, and you expect him to rebound every shot that you miss.
Right. Hey, Tom. Hey, here's the deal. I want every man that can play the basketball. If you're 7'6", if you're 7'5", if you're 6'9", 6, I want every player to count. So, having said that, I want every player to count. that means that I want to say and basically kind of go back. I want to amend the game. I want guys that can shoot the ball. I want guys that can sit and be in the post. I want my power forward. I want to sit and blend the 70s to the 80s, the 2000 and 2010, and put it into the 90s. Can we get the 90s basketball? Everybody, look, hey, to me, the 90s was the best brand of basketball.
I don't know. I like the 80s myself. That's just me personally. I'm an 80s guy. I've always been an 80s guy. The 80s guy, that it was more parity in the league. You had to put in more work to win games. If you didn't put in the work, you didn't win games. Point blank. Proof was in the pudding. Because if you think about this, during the 80s, it was only really two teams that put in work. And them two teams always won a championship.
Yes, sir.
But look, Thomas. Look, Thomas. With the 80s, you're taking out a lot of these young cats that are in the 2000s. So you want to sit and incorporate everybody. So if I'm incorporating everybody, I'm thinking that there's people that can shoot the lights out in the 90s and can post up and run physical defense in the 90s. The 80s, you're not going to get Steph Curry. You're not going to get these cats. I mean, that's just me. I'm trying to look out for the young people.
Dude, if you're looking at high flyers, think about this. Your high flyers came out of the 70s and the 80s. That initiated the high flyers.
High flyers as far as what?
Dr. J, Daryl Griffin, Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan. Come on, man. All these cats was the precursor to leaping.
Well, fellas,
shooters.
Clyde Drexler. Come on, man. That's all 80s ball, man. Come on.
Double J, what you got, man?
Fellas, I understand what y'all saying. I get it, but man, we gotta understand, man. And some of the younger cats that they'll look at this and they'll be yelling at the TV or the computer or whatever they watch it on the cell phone, and they'll be saying, "Listen to them old heads." You have to understand, and I get it, man. I get it. It's even the same in music, hip hop. You got your old school guys that feel like Rakim and all them guys, Run DMC, LL. They did it one way. They did it the right way. Then you got the new school guys that do it their way. This is their style of play, man. This is how they play the game, and we have to respect every era, man. We have to respect it, man. Well, it's been a real one, fellas. We talked about it. Until the next time, it's been 234 Sports Talk. Catch us on right here on YouTube. Catch us on Twitter. Catch us on Instagram. Catch us on TikTok. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Till the next time.
Peace.